Hi everybody, Richard Trembles here again at Artificial Lawyer TV. Today we're doing a special product walkthrough focusing on Elevate and its Enterprise Legal Management or ELM platform. To tell us a bit more about it are Andy and Giraffe. Hi guys.
Hi Richard.
In fact, this is going to be quite a long demo with a lot of information, and we're going to be showing several modules of the ELM platform. So I'm just going to disappear and let you guys get into it, and I'll come back at the end. So please just take it away.
Sounds good. Thank you, Richard. Hey, I'm Sharat Bedu, Vice President GM of Products Business at Elevate. I'm based out of the San Francisco Bay Area and held a variety of business and technical roles in the software industry over the last 20 years, like Intuit, Sabre, and most recently, Aptus. Andy?
Hello, I'm Andy Nen. I'm a solutions architect with Elevate's Products Group. I am an attorney by background and have spent most of my career focused on improving the business and practice of law through technology and process innovation.
Start off with a quick summary of who we are. Elevate has deep expertise with 10+ years in the legal industry and offers expert-led, technology-driven solutions to over 100 of the global 1,000 corporations across various industries and over 30 of the global 100 law firms. When I joined Elevate, what I saw here in the legal industry is not very different from what I've seen in other industries. There's a lot of automation happening in silos, in the areas of the critical needs initially. That's a natural transition that I saw from talking to customers and having seen other industries, where companies then go from these siloed automation to wanting to have a connected platform that allows you to accelerate the value that you can drive for your business. And once you have that connected platform and better adoption of your solutions across the legal ecosystem, then that leads to a deluge of data and to be able to use machine-driven insights to be able to then use that as a feedback loop to improve the decisions you take and your operations. So we were in the same boat at Elevate here. We had a lot of point solutions we built over time, and what we set out to do a couple of years back is to build a platform that brings everything together into this connected ecosystem, both across law departments and their business stakeholders, but also between a law department and a law firm. So that led to our vision of this common platform of an Elevate ELM across managing your requests, matters, contracts, RFPs, bills, and creating dashboards. This is built on a common data model, which is critical for bringing all the different modules together. Workflow, configurable workflows, reporting, APIs into other systems. One of the key things about our platform is that we built it as a loosely coupled platform and with a modular approach, because by working with a lot of different customers as Elevate on different systems, we realized that customers have made an investment into their existing point solutions. And our platform is open to connect into these other systems. And so customers can build modularly their illegal automation one module at a time, either using our solutions or third-party vendor solutions. So how does that fit in terms of a typical legal workflow before we jump into a demo? So in a typical scenario, a law department gets a request either through a phone or an email or through a solution such as ours. We're submitting a form, and it typically falls into a contracts work stream or a legal matter work stream. If it's a legal matter that can be handled in-house, they go ahead and handle it. But in case it needs an outside counsel, set out an RFP to be able to have the law firm respond to the RFP, select a counsel, and then from there, on the law firm side of things, the law firm can then create their plans, project plans from the RFPs, and to be able to then track actuals against budget and to be able to share that with their clients. And then when it's time for billing, the timekeepers can then coordinate with the legal billers in order to either write down or write off compliance items before the bills are submitted into the e-billing system, into the law department e-billing systems, and closing the loop with the matters matter modules. So sitting on top of all of this is our managed dashboard solution, which then connects into these various modules, whether it is modules from Elevate or from third-party solutions, that then gives you the insights either from an operations point of view or from a GC point of view, in order to be able to look at that and understand what is truly going on with your work in your legal ecosystem, and to be able to make decisions or change based on the data that is provided at your fingertips. So with that, we're going to transition over to Andy, who will do a quick demo of a typical use case, and then show you what we mean by this. Andy?
All right, thanks, Sharath. Let me transition to share my screen. Okay, so I am logged into our ELM legal hub, and these tiles represent all of the modules that you've run through. And from a user perspective, this is the way that I access all of the modules of our ELM that I may have access to. And before I do a demo, I just want to describe a scenario up front that sort of mirrors the process you described. So I'm going to be showing this from the perspective of someone within the law department of a company. And let's say that that company has been sued by a former employee, claiming that they were wrongfully terminated and perhaps were discriminated against. And so this example is going to be someone in HR reaching out to the law department, asking them to advise and handle that situation. And then because this is a litigation matter, perhaps we don't handle the majority of our litigation, especially when it comes to employment litigation. And so we're going to outsource this to outside counsel. So we're going to use our Manage Outside Counsel module to issue that RFP, select the appropriate outside counsel for this matter, and then we can track that all within our Managed Matters. As you mentioned, we can track, as we're processing invoices, that's going to connect into the Managed Matters, and the budgets to actuals be updated. And then ultimately, once everything is said and done, we can report on all of this within managed dashboards. So yeah, with that, I'm going to get started with the demo. So we're going to start in manage requests. And when I open manage requests, what I have is a queue of requests that have come in from the business. And I can see that there's this new request, Project Luna, with someone looking for legal advice. So I'm going to open that request. And what I see is a summary of this issue where a former employee is threatening to sue the company. And off to the left, I have some high-level information about this request, who it came in from, what the priority of this request is. And then, as you can see, I have places to track details, store documents, see the history of everything that happens related to this request. I also have a separate workspace for tracking internal communications with my team, as well as directly with the customer or with our client within the company, and the ability to track tasks. So I'm the right person for this job. So I'm going to assign this request to myself. And then I'm also going to let the original requester, the business user, know that I'm working on this. So thanks, I'll be reaching out. And that's going to send them a communication within the system. It's going to trigger an email. They can either respond through email, and that's going to be captured within the system, or they can respond directly within the system. And then I can simply create a task that that I want to track. Call Chris, and I can set that for later today, and that's going to create a task within the system. And so, as you can see, this is going to build a record for this request. It allows me to collaborate and communicate both internally and with the business, and capture all this data as it relates to this request, and help me to better manage the requests that come in from the business. Now, let's fast forward and say that, based on everything that's going on, we know this is going to become a matter within the company, and we're most likely going to want to involve outside counsel. So from here, this is now going to be pushed to Managed Matters, and this is going to be a legal matter that we're going to track, which could take a while, which is typically what matter management systems are used for. So here's that Project Luna that was originally a request and now a matter. And so what I get from within Managed Matters, as you can see, is a summary of what the matter is, and I can at a high level see the details of this matter. I can see the budget for this matter, if there is one for this. I can track risk over time. I get updates and I can communicate internally within this system. And then as you can see across the top, I can see the scope and planning. I can see who else is working on this matter with me, access documents, and track the history. So as I mentioned, we're going to involve outside counsel. So let's take a look at manage outside counsel for issuing legal RFPs. And so I've actually issued an RFP for this particular matter, and I've sent this to 2 of our panel firms, and I've asked them to respond to a series of questions, provide what the deliverables would be to handle this matter for us and exactly what that would cost. So I can see that both firms have completed their responses. And as you can see, I have a wizard-based experience where I can build this RFP and then review responses to this RFP, as well as compare responses apples to apples from outside counsel. So as I'm going through and reviewing, as you can see, I may want to take a look at the scope to see, what the deliverables are when outside counsel is proposing to get these done against when I may have suggested these get done. And then I'm going to rate them 1 to 5 based on how I feel the response is or how they compare across, between or across law firms. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've scored things like the scope, how they've responded to additional questions, which may be things like diversity related questions within the firm and who they're going to staff for this particular matter. I can review the scope and the financials as they relate to this matter and see what they're going to price. So at a high level, I can see this is all fixed pricing and they're going to complete this matter for $12,600. And then I would do the same for the other firm, compare them side by side, and then ultimately score each of the categories, which is going to provide an average score, which objectively tells me which is the better firm to handle this particular matter. So as we can see, Chow and Magar has scored much higher, so they're the right firm for this job. So I'm going to select them. They will be notified within the platform, and they've also provided their responses to the platform. So as you can see, all of this is contained within the platform. So if we go back to manage matters, now they're actively working on this matter. They are invoicing us for this matter. They're going to be processing that through, could be processing that through managed billing, and we'll be reviewing those invoices through managed billing. And then as we are paying for this work, it's going to update our budget. So this budget here within this particular matter is going to update over time. And then I'm going to be tracking all of the activities related to this request through the completion of the matter. Now, once the matter has been complete, I'm going to use managed dashboards for reviewing legal spend across the department and perhaps take a deeper look at how all of my outside counsel are performing for us and spending for us. So for example, if I go to our spend insights dashboard within managed dashboards, I can see a summary view of total spend within the department, how that breaks down over time, where we're spending the most money by area within the company, as well as different matter types within the law department. So as you can see, which is pretty typical, most of the spend has been happening within disputes and litigation. And then I can also look at this from at the firm level. So if I wanted to look at a particular firm to see how they've been billing us over a period of time, I can do this all from within managed dashboards. I can also quickly apply filters to compare this. Maybe I want to compare year to year. And then also, let's say that, maybe the GC wants a summary report of how a particular firm has been working for us, or how all of, where all the spend is going. I can actually either download this dashboard and share it, or I can schedule the delivery of this dashboard to the general counsel. I can even send them a regular update of this report over time, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly. And then I also have the ability to build custom dashboards ad hoc very quickly and easily using any data source either contained within our ELM or third-party data sources like third-party e-billing systems or finance systems that push data to our managed dashboards module. You know, that's kind of that gives you a general flow of how the ELM can be used in this particular matter. Also within the ELM, we have managed contracts, which is our contracts management platform. I may have referenced managed contracts to look for the employment contract as it relates to that claim. I can then use analyze documents, our AI machine learning module, to say compare that employment contract against all the employment contracts we have within the company. I might look to see, you know, did they have a non-standard, maybe there's a mandatory arbitration clause, and, you know, did that original contract have the same language compared to our standard, or really kind of look at a clause level or compare across contracts for particular insights so that I can help resolve this matter. So with that, that's our ELM.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andy. Wow, there's so much there, isn't there? There's so much data. Let's just unpick this a little bit. So first of all, I mean, presumably, this didn't happen overnight. But Elevate, you know, has evolved this ELM system. Could you just tell me a little bit how you got to this point?
Yeah, sure. You're right. I mean, Elevate works with a lot of different customers and the systems that the customers have from other vendors. And, you know, there's a lot of learnings we have and best practices we have in terms of what the actual usage of the system requires, what is needed to get the job done. And so we use a lot of those learnings. We also use, from my Intuit days, the concept of what we call design for delight, which are deep interviews, understanding what the customer is really trying to get to, or the users are really trying to get to, and use some of those insights that went into building with the right user experience. Because the real ROI of a solution comes from adoption of the solution, not just from selling it. You really want, and then there are different stakeholders, such as an attorney versus a legal ops professional that may have slightly different ways of using the system and what they can do with it. So we kind of took all that into consideration as we went around and designed our user experience, as well as our features and our best practices in terms of the process.
Gotcha. And if I remember rightly, one of the other aspects of this is that all of the modules are interconnected, that they don't operate as point solutions.
That's right. I mean, they can operate independently, but the whole idea here was that it is connected through a common platform. And it's not just our modules. It can be another vendor's modules as well. We're happy to connect into them through their APIs or CSVs so that the data still flows through our platform, which then powers our managed dashboard. So you can get insights truly across your ecosystem. That was a key tenet of what we set out to do. As a loosely coupled platform that can plug, connect into other modules and our own modules.
Gotcha. Well, which brings us to the next question, which is if someone's watching this, particularly a corporate or a financial institution, and they say, okay, this looks useful, how do they bring it in? How do you implement something like this?
Yeah, so we would look at where, you know, what your current legal footprint is, or they could look at what their current footprint is and where their gaps are in terms of their needs of what they need. And, you know, it could be quite simply just the dashboards piece that needs to connect across what they've already invested in, or it could be maybe with managing the requests coming in, or it could be to do with your outside counsel and RFP management, right? So in any of these situations, or it could be the e-billing or matter, where presumably they may already have a system. So they would look at that, and we would come in and we would connect into those other systems they have, as well as roll out our own system, and then provide the appropriate end-to-end connected solution.
Got it. So they can have a kind of customized product, that they don't have to have every part of it. They could have certain parts. And then, as you were saying before, if, let's say, for example, they already have a billing system and they don't want to use that module from you, they can just put that together with what you offer.
Absolutely. Modularity was key to how we built our product, how we built this platform.
Fantastic. And just a final point, really, which is on the law firm side. You mentioned previously that there are some law firms using this. How are they using this?
They're using it primarily from a legal project management, what is LPM perspective, where they can track actuals against budget. We pull in the matter information from their financial systems and are able to continuously update how they're progressing against budget. And then they're also able to then share that with their clients and the law departments, who can then log in and understand where they are actuals against budget. That's one of the primary use case. The other use case is when before the bills go out, the timekeepers can review the invoices, write down, and have that our system just the OCG compliance check, and they can kind of go back and forth with the biller before the bill is finalized and sent out to the law department.
Fantastic.
The third use case is where they're also using it for managing the requests internally. Whenever there's a matter, there's a lot of requests happening and back office work that gets done. So we can track all those requests related to the matter that are being done across various teams, such as document production or other areas.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And just actually the very last thing, which is you mentioned about the implementation that you helped there. Some people will know, some people may not know, but Elevate is a very broad organization. You do a lot of different things. But so you have your own consulting division that can actually help, implement this product for the bank.
Yeah, that's one of the key things. When people think product, sometimes they think software, but end of the day, what we're trying to do is solve a customer need and get the job done. And in order to do that, sometimes it's a combination, or many times it's a combination of software and consulting and services and people and process. So that's what we bring to the table, what we think of as a whole product to the customers, so that it's not just a software or just a consulting or services or process, but bring it all together into a well integrated solution end to end that actually solves the need for the customer.
And Andy, any last thoughts, any last takeaways for any listeners?
Sure. So I'll just leave listeners with, our ELM is an incredibly flexible, collaborative, and data-driven platform, which is exactly what we set out to do on this journey. All of these modules provide independent value for the jobs to be done that they address, as well as work very well together in an interconnected way to provide a, quote, 1 + 1 = 3 experience.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Sharaf. That's really interesting. And of course, if people do want to know more, they can get in touch with Elevate. So thank you very much and speak again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Bye.
Great. Thank you.